I'm getting there. I need to be with you.
Yeah, definitely. Four of us. I'm with the commission and I'm trying to get the
Nobody anticipated the impending showdown. At least in the music ring, we've all been speculating about it for weeks. Canelo Alvarez and Crawford carried their dispute from a potential ring brawl to the airport only hours after blowing each other off in public. Music a few days before this bout. Let's catch up. In a recent Instagram live chat with His Excellency Stylistic, Terence Crawford, who had recently defeated Madam Off, repeatedly stated his desire to face Canelo Alvarez. She confronted Canelo.
Canelo next.
Yes.
Let's
Go. Canelo, come on.
You heard it from him?
We are ready.
Yeah, just put me in the game, coach. Just put me in the game. Canelo Crawford, the biggest fight.
Crawford hasn't mentioned the altercation since. In an interview after Edgar Barra's most recent battle, he branded Canelo a duck for not wanting to have a real discussion about a potential fight. He took aim at Canelo's reluctance to engage in what many consider to be one of the most significant bouts in modern boxing history. Upon being questioned about Crawford's count, Canelo first stated, "I have nothing to say about it."
On the internet with Turkey Al-Sheikh calling you out, what's your response to Terence Crawford's call out tonight?
No comment.
Canelo, however, didn't hold back when he was pushed further. He flatly rejected Crawford's challenge, claiming the welterweight champion was too light and easy for him. Canelo could tell that Crawford was not a serious danger and that it would not be worth his time to fight him.
If I'm easy work, I heard him say, I'm easy work. If I was easy work, well, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want $200 million for Benavidez, and he want $150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to him.
It should have ended there, but Crawford thought that he had had enough of these two, and things rapidly got out of hand when they unexpectedly ran into each other at the terminal. Despite being with their squads, neither fighter, Crawford in particular, seemed eager to go. Crawford apparently approached Canelo over the two direct remark, still incensed at Canelo's rejection, and things quickly became violent.
Canelo fight, realistically left your mind once he said he's not interested, or you still pursuing it?
Not at all. I think business talk.
All of this is intriguing now since Crawford just recently used some deferential language toward Canelo during his battle with Berlanga. Even though Bonga showed heart and tenacity to return from the knockdown, Canelo once again showed why he is regarded as one of the world's top pound-for-pound fighters by controlling the majority of the action and downing Berlanga early in the bout. Despite being predicted, Canelo's performance made it clear that he was still the best in the super middleweight division. Crawford couldn't help but recognize the Mexican champion's brilliance as he watched from the sidelines. I attended the Canelo-Bonga fight first, followed by the UFC bout. When questioned about Canelo's performance, Crawford said, "I think Canelo put on a great performance. As he always does, Canelo was Canelo. Berlanga, in my opinion, also put up an amazing performance. It was a fantastic battle, and he showed a lot of passion and desire." Crawford's admiration for both boxers demonstrated his unwavering desire to take on Canelo, who had just advanced to super welterweight, as well as his profound appreciation for the sport. Crawford said that he will not give up until this match is made and is targeting Canelo as his next opponent. The Omaha native seemed unfazed by the size gap, even though the possible battle would take place to classes higher from where Crawford presently fights. He is adamant on fighting Canelo because he wants to leave a lasting impression on the sport.
End of the day, they're two great pound-for-pound fighters, and if they feel like, it makes sense and they want to fight each other, stylistically, it's a great fight. But, Canelo, he's a big dude. So I think it'd be hard for anyone to beat him at 168. But, it's definitely a big money fight, and that's why we're all in boxing, to make the biggest fights and try to...
Crawford's victory is genuine. Since it was his first bout at a distance in 8 years, some observers have speculated that as he advances in weight, his strength may be diminishing. Although Crawford's power is still one of his distinguishing characteristics, the fight was close since the opponent was strong and resilient. The more significant concern is how it will hold up against a fighter like Canelo, who has repeatedly shown that he is capable of taking the finest blows in the game.
of Jamel Charlo couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Jaime Munguia couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Triple G couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Kovalev couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Berlanga couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Daniel Jacobs couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Caleb Plant couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. ¿Qué Buck Crawford le va a hacer a ese tigre? Ustedes no vieron Buck Crawford versus Mastromoff. What power did Buck Crawford have? Put me in the game, coach. No, you're the 15th man in the roster. You will sit in the bench. Well, you got...
Crawford seems unfazed by these worries. He said in the same interview that he still feels that fighting Canelo is what the public wants to see and that his desire to do so hasn't changed. The battle is what I've been craving. It's a battle for legacy. It's the biggest boxing match of the day. According to Crawford, the battle reminds him of the last of the Mohicans. The battle would be huge, in my opinion. There are two top 3 and 4-pounders competing against each other.
This fight right here is like the last of the Mohicans. You know, we both coming in an era where Floyd Mayweather was #1 pound for pound, Showtime, and HBO era, that type of era. So I think this fight will be massive.
As he discusses the possible fight, Crawford exudes confidence. He admits that Canelo is bigger than him, but that doesn't deter him. On the contrary, it inspires him to take on a challenge like Canelo, which is the essence of boxing. Push yourself to the limit and face the most formidable opponent. Canelo's stellar career record supports Crawford's confidence, but the fight with him adds a new level of difficulty. I know he's bigger than me, but I'm up for the challenge. It's all respect, and if he decides to come my way and we get in the ring, it would be an exciting fight. Of course, I'll beat him. For now, it would be a battle of styles, talents, and physical qualities between Canelo, who is renowned for his powerful IQ and experience, and Crawford, who has dominated the lighter categories. Canelo has defeated some of the top fighters in a variety of weight classes. Canelo said that he intends to take some time off with his family before determining his next course of action, although he has not committed to a specific opponent after the Berlanga fight. This opens up a number of possibilities, such as a possible confrontation with Crawford.
Terence, any chance your kids become UFC champions?
No.
Why not?
They don't pay you enough.
But from this point on, things just become more fascinating. Going the distance may have given Berlanga what some would consider a moral win, but for Canelo Alvarez, it was just another night in which his strength made a lasting impression on his opponent without meeting the expectations his supporters had become used to. Alvarez has now floored his opponent 4 times in a row while still winning by decision. Although some may be surprised by this pattern for someone with Canelo's renowned reputation, the guy remains unfazed, and what will they say? With the annoyance of a champion who is continuously questioned in spite of his achievements, Canelo stated after the bout, "They claim that I battle older opponents, but I fight younger ones. They always compliment me on my intellect, talent, experience, and hard work, all of which combine to make me the greatest." It seems as if Canelo has reached a point where no triumph will ever be sufficient to quell the skeptics, but maybe it's more about what he has yet to do than what is ahead. However, after his defeat against Dimitri in May 2022, it is hard to disregard what the naysayers may say. Despite their brilliance, Canelo has fought a lot of competitors that aren't quite on the same level. Canelo was a -1,600 favorite against Bonga. There are rumors that boxing's biggest star needs a real test to bring danger and excitement back to his career. Terence Crawford, who believes he is Canelo's next great opponent, is the man to do this. Known for his accuracy, speed, and ring IQ, Crawford has compared the possible move up and weight to face Canelo to the famous 1983 fight between Marvin Hagler and Roberto Duran, but the smaller guy wins this fight, Crawford said confidently, but before any serious discussion about Crawford and Canelo can begin. In Canelo's near future, there is another spectacle in the air, a possible rematch with Dimitri Bivol, with perhaps greater stakes. Despite their suspiciously tight scorecards, Bivol outperforms Canelo in their first encounter, and if Bivol prevails, he will challenge Arthur beater Biv for the undisputed light heavyweight title. In search of atonement and the opportunity to become the undisputed champion in a second weight class, victorious Canelo is already contemplating the rematch. Things really heat up at this point. Canelo's recollection of losing to Binge drives him to never back down from a challenge. Nothing about that fight felt right to me. After his third fight with Jenin Golovkin in September 2022, Canelo had to have surgery for an injury to his left wrist. Although it's intriguing to see Canelo returning at full strength to make amends with Bivol, there's a chance that history may be repeated. Bivol is a strong opponent, after all, and his first victory shows how challenging Canelo's aggressive approach is for him.
Canelo had the options for rematch. He didn't use it. Now he gonna fight again against someone not for me. I don't know if he wants to fight me or not, but I'm not ready.
Even if Canelo advances to a rematch, he would probably be in unfamiliar terrain since Arthur Beater Beef, a fighter with a perfect co-ration who intimidates his opponents, is already favored by a little margin. He is capable of defeating Arthur Beater Beef, though he made it apparent that he is only interested in battling Bivol and not after Beater. Canelo recognized Bivol's abilities. Support him, the prospect of a rematch may vanish if Bivol loses the October showdown, but even if Bivol prevails, the weight class might be a barrier. Bivol is certain that he can defeat Canelo at light heavyweight and has shown interest in a rematch at 168 pounds, where Canelo is the undisputed super middleweight champion. Canelo wants a rematch at 175 pounds, the weight class in which Bivol previously defeated him. However, Canelo has power since he is the highest compensation Bivol could get, which might persuade the Russian champion to agree to the rematch on Canelo's conditions. In the meantime, Canelo doesn't appear interested in contemplating another name that keeps coming up. The young, hungry Mexican-American fighter David Benavidez has been urging Canelo to fight him for a long time, calling him out time and time again in an attempt to force him to do so. However, even though Bunf had a strong performance against Alexander Gazak, albeit a lackluster one because of a hand ligament injury, Canelo is still competing in his weight class of 175 and doesn't always look like he does because it's different when you're fighting in your weight class. A Benavidez-Canelo clash appears to be out of the question, at least for the time being, Canelo commented dismissively. But this deck also contains another wild card. The 37-year-old former and disputed welterweight champion Crawford recently made his debut weighing 154 pounds and prevailed by decision against Israel, a challenging fighter who many said was underappreciated despite his lackluster appearance. With Canelo as his next major opponent, Crawford maintains his confidence. Here, the disparity in weight is concerning. Canelo has been fighting at 168 pounds or more for years, but Crawford has never fought beyond 154 pounds. Despite this, Crawford is unfazed by the size difference, believing that his skill set can outstrip Canelo's physical advantages. Fights are not won by size. Crawford established a line that sums up his career, in which he has continuously defied the odds. Canelo and Crawford's battle would be enormous, maybe the biggest non-heavyweight match in boxing right now. Fans are screaming for a matchup between two of the greatest athletes in sports, proving the commercial appeal. Even though he is smaller, Crawford thinks he can win this bout and leave a lasting legacy. It seems like a battle of heritage, and I think I can win. The thought of Crawford moving up to weight classes to face Canelo is supported by his past performance, as Crawford said, and it's the sort of blockbuster that might rock the boxing world for Canelo. There is interest in the idea of taking on CFIT. Although he is a well-known celebrity, Canelo himself said that no one would comment, "Oh, he beat. If I defeated him Crawford," because Canelo is a skilled boxer who is also exceptional pound for pound, despite being smaller. At this point, Canelo's motivation isn't only about legacy. It's also about the payday, the thrill, and maybe the end of his legendary career. If the money is right, why not at this stage of my career? Canelo accepted that he would inevitably engage in fights that made both financial and competitive sense, but Crawford acknowledged that if the height difference materializes, Canelo's size and strength would be the only things to worry about. Despite this, he doesn't appear intimidated, implying that his superior reach and speed could make up for those differences. But Canelo's obvious annoyance at the constant inquiries on this battle suggests that he could be becoming tired of Crawford's relentless pursuit. Even though there is little likelihood of the fight occurring, the Mexican superstar has already set his price at an incredible $150 million, and Crawford doesn't seem to be prepared to back down. Canelo has responded to Crawford's pursuit in a direct manner. He clearly values himself in this possible battle, as seen by the $150 million asking price, and he won't fall for the enticement until the conditions are ideal. Canelo's record speaks for itself, and he is playing at his best. Even a fighter like Crawford, who is inherently smaller, would be terrified of him because to his fierce strength and dominance in many weight divisions.
Is there one guy that comes to mind? Is there one person who's still not?
Bivol maybe, just to get the rematch. Bivol maybe.
Bivol is one of the guys I have my rematch now to like I say, if he wins
It seems extremely simple for Crawford to say that Canelo's height and strength are the only things he has to be concerned about, as if he were disregarding the other threats that Canelo poses inside the ring. After all, Canelo has a history of destroying opponents with the same level of confidence. Crawford may have certain advantages because of his speed and reach, but Carlos's tactical skill and capacity to alter Sid's confidence in the middle of a fight, which comes from his own flawless record of 41 victories and no defeats, including 31 knockouts, would probably outweigh them. Tom reiterates that he is one of the top boxers. His readiness to take on more formidable opponents is widely known, and he seems to be really unafraid to take on the larger Canelo. Crawford claims that his prior experience fighting bigger opponents has prepared him to meet whatever challenge Canelo presents, but boxing fans and commentators are beginning to feel that Crawford is taking on more than he can handle. Although he has faced larger opponents, Canelo is more than simply a bigger opponent. His experience and power style might cause issues. Crawford has never faced Canelo's relentless pursuit of this bout, which is Spark claims that he is just looking to earn a huge salary before retiring, since there are many elite fighters at 154 and 147 pounds for him to take on instead of competing against the best in those weight classes and leaving a lasting legacy through perseverance and hard work. Some people see this as a lazy decision. Critics claim Crawford is seeking a quick route to a huge salary, and it's hard to deny that claim entirely. The payout would be enormous, and it makes sense that Crawford would desire a financial bonanza to end his career as a fighter toward the end of his career, but the optics are poor, and many fans are becoming weary of his persistent pushing for a fight that, despite all the hype around it, seems more and more improbable to happen. Crawford has said that he thinks about between him and Canelo would be enormous. He considers it to be the greatest boxing matchup ever, putting two of the top 3 pound-for-pound fighters against one another. The smaller, speedier Crawford facing the larger, more formidable Canelo seems like an intriguing contest. Boxing fans are typically intrigued by the traditional David versus Goliath narrative, but it's hard to get rid of the impression that this battle is more about the show than the sport. Still, it's unclear whether Crawford really thinks he can defeat Canelo or if this is just a ploy to get Canelo that one huge paycheck. Even though it would be profitable, battling Crawford may not leave much of a legacy since he has already defeated divisions, faced the best, and established himself as one of the greatest names in the sport. A naturally smaller opponent could be viewed as a mismatch, and Canelo might be concerned that even if he wins, the victory wouldn't carry the same weight as some of his other accomplishments. Canelo has always seemed more interested in challenges that push him, whether it's moving up in weight or taking on dangerous opponents like Dimitri Bivol or Caleb Plant fighting Crawford. What are your thoughts on all of this? Then, please leave your comments below, and for more information, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. See you at the next one.